couple of days ago, I came out and I said that the Houston Rockets should not trade for Kevin Durant, depending on the trade. Well, considering what they gave up, I do like this move for Houston. It has officially happened. Kevin Durant has been traded to the Houston Rockets for 5 second-round picks, the number 10 pick, Jalen Green, and also Dillon Brooks. We'll talk about both teams here, but this is mostly about the Houston Rockets. A phenomenal trade for Houston because you did not give up more than just one first-round pick. The number 10 pick, hey, is just a throw-in deal for the Phoenix Suns. They need the first-round pick. The 5 second-round picks, it is a bit annoying, but you get to keep your first-round picks for the future here. They had to make a move this offseason to bring in an offensive superstar. Kevin Durant is still one of the best players in the game. I know that he's on the back end of his career, and you have to give him a contract extension. He's willing to sign that extension with the Houston Rockets. A list came out a couple weeks ago that he preferred to go to the Miami Heat, San Antonio Spurs, and to the Houston Rockets. Well, they traded him to the Rockets here. Their half-court offense was abysmal at times last season, even though they were red hot. They had the second best record in the Western Conference next to the OKC Thunder. The one thing that has always held the Houston Rockets back over the last few years since they traded James Harden has been offensive consistency. We know they have Fred VanVleet. They have Şengün. Very good basketball players, don't get me wrong. And I look at someone like Jalen Green. He had his moments, but he wasn't consistent enough. I've seen Jalen Green go out there and score 35 points in a game on good efficiency. The next night, he may only score 10 points, and he may only shoot 33% from the field. He hasn't been a good, consistent offensive player, especially in the half-court setting. Look at what happened against the Golden State Warriors in the first round. They took a Golden State Warriors team with Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, and Jimmy Butler, amazing veterans in the postseason. They took that team to Game 7, and Jalen Green only had one good game in that series. They had to move on from him. The basketball IQ at times was just terrible. A bunch of turnovers, a bunch of dumb shots. He's settling for jump shots. You bring in Kevin Durant. This is a man that can still average 27 points a game. Hell, he may be able to average 30 points a game. Shoot 41% from the three. That's what he did this season with the Phoenix Suns. And the Phoenix Suns, their defense was terrible. When you look at the Houston Rockets, yes, you traded Dillon Brooks, a very good defender. But you still have great defenders on the team. Ahmed Thompson, very good defender. Steven Adams is a very good defending big man. You have Tari Eason, very good defending wing coming off the bench. The same with him and Jabari Smith. So you have good players around Kevin Durant that can mask his defensive flaws right now. And you look at Kevin Durant, a lot of people say that he's a terrible defender at this point in time, his age. He's not a great defender, but he'll have his moments. Now you can do a lot of different things around Kevin Durant. And the one thing with Ime Udoka, going back to his time with the Boston Celtics, he prides himself on defense over and over again. He helped develop Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to the next level. His first year as a head coach with the Celtics, they went to the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. Within just a couple of years with the Houston Rockets, they're one of the better teams in the NBA. And this was a Houston Rockets organization. They were not in a good spot before they hired Ime Udoka to be the head coach. And I'm happy to see him be in this spot. He just signed a contract extension with this organization, considering how things ended with the Boston Celtics. So he gets to come over to this organization. And now he has a true superstar that can help him out in so many ways on the offensive end. You have that double big lineup with Şengün, with Steven Adams, which gave a lot of NBA teams problems. Now, against the Golden State Warriors, they did have their problems, but they were able to go out there and beat them on the offensive boards, beat them on the defensive boards. And you have a true superstar in Kevin Durant. You get the basketball too, he can knock down the three. You just can't go out there and run those certain zone coverages over and over again against the Houston Rockets, and they'll go stretches 3 to 4 minutes to where they just can't get enough field goal production. You can now hand the ball off to Kevin Durant and say, help us out. You have Fred VanVleet, who's a championship point guard. Look at what he was able to do with the Houston Rockets. Look at the defense that he played against the Golden State Warriors in the first round. I know that Stephen Curry had his moments, but he was matched up with Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet did the best that he could. Moving on from Jalen Green is not the end of the world here, because you still have Reed Shepherd. Did not do much in his rookie season, but he's a rookie. Give him time. I think that he can slide in. He can be a very good player with this organization in due time. You still have Cam Whitmore. I love the upside with him. Hopefully, Ime Udoka gives him more consistent minutes in the future. I know that he was in the doghouse this season. Hopefully, Ime Udoka gives him another chance for the upcoming year, especially with Kevin Durant being on this roster. But this was a great trade for the Houston Rockets, and it opens up the offense for everyone else. Şengün, he can average 20 points a game. Sure, he missed a lot of easy layups against the Golden State Warriors. Once again, he's a young player. You can make the case that he was the best consistent player every single night. And now you have a true superstar that you can get the basketball to in so many ways. Double screens, just finding ways to pull up from the mid-range spot, hitting those easy threes over and over again. You can get to the paint. And you look at Ahmed Thompson here. I'm going to say this. Him and Asur Thompson, his brother, his twin, who is playing for the Detroit Pistons. They're some of the best defenders that I've seen in the NBA from this previous season. They're amazing. And the jump shot is not there with either one of those players just yet. Ahmed Thompson averaged 14 points a game. He's one of the best athletes in basketball. He can get to the rim at a consistent rate over and over again. But if he can develop that jump shot from the corner three, he could be one of the better players in the NBA. That defense is phenomenal. He can switch on positions from point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward. I've seen him pick up centers at half court like Jokic, and then he just drifts away. He's a definition of a true defensive guru in terms of just going out there and just playing sound defense over and over again. And this was their bread and butter before they entered the NBA. They were in the G League causing hell with their defensive adjustments over and over again. Coaches just go out there and they say, you know what, your best player on the best night, go out there and guard them. And you can handle them for the entire night. They were able to do this early on in their career. So imagine what they can do as they progress. But having Ahmed Thompson and getting to keep him on this roster is crazy. And you still have Fred VanVleet. The sky's the limit for the Houston Rockets. I'm not going to come on here and say that they're going to be a championship contender over the next 3 to 4 years with Kevin Durant, but they're definitely going to be better on the offensive end. You're able to be the number 2 seed without a consistent scorer every single night. And now you have that in Kevin Durant. We'll see what happens long term in the Western Conference, but this is a home run trade here for Houston. And I love this move. A+. Far as the Phoenix Suns here, it sucks. The only reason why they had to make this move is because of Bradley Beal. And I know that I sound like a Bradley Beal hater every single time I talk about the Phoenix Suns, but I'm going to be honest here. They should have never traded for that man in the first place. He has that no trade clause. They tried to move on from Bradley Beal. He was content on staying. Now you have Jalen Green mixed in with Devin Booker, those 5 second-round picks, Dylan Brooks, and the number 10 pick. Hopefully you can bring in a consistent big man with the 10th pick. That's the one thing that the Phoenix Suns were looking for. They were in conversations with the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat said, hell no, we're not trading Khalil Ware. We don't give a damn. Well, they said, okay, we'll just trade him to the Houston Rockets. We'll get those 5 second-round picks. We'll bring in Jalen Green. We'll go out there. We'll bring in Dylan Brooks. I like them bringing in Dylan Brooks. As far as Jalen Green, I don't think it's a good fit. And Jalen Green's not a bad basketball player. He just has those moments that you make you scratch your head. I don't think that he's going to be a long-term fit with the Phoenix Suns. I think they'll go out there, they'll move on from him, and they'll try to bring in another bench player that can give them very good production. But having Grayson Allen and Dylan Brooks on the same team is going to be crazy with their defense and their shooting ability. And back to the Houston Rockets here for a second. Dylan Brooks had a very good season this year in terms of shooting efficiency with the Houston Rockets. He looked very good, especially in the regular season. He had his moments against the Boston Celtics that made you shake your head and say, okay, Dylan Brooks is here to play. He could play very good defense on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Now he's killing it from 3. They gave him more opportunities than the Memphis Grizzlies were able to. And the Memphis Grizzlies, they're looking at Dylan Brooks and they're saying, hey, don't shoot the 3. Just go out there and just play defense. You're shooting us out the game. Ime Udoka gave him the confidence and he said, hey, play that great defense, and on the offensive end, we'll give you your shots. You can go out there and kill them from mid-range. You can kill from 3. Just play great defense for us. We'll reward you on the offensive end. And it woke up something out of Dylan Brooks. He's a very good defensive player with Memphis. He comes over to the Houston Rockets. The defense got even better because they're willing to give him offensive touches. You look at the Indiana Pacers right now. A lot of those players, they play very good defense because they know in transition, I can get the basketball, I can get those points. So the Phoenix Suns can do that around Devin Booker. think you'll be on to something. But I like them getting Dylan Brooks in the trade. Far as Jalen Green, it's just a bit of an awkward fit because you have Bradley Beal, you have Devin Booker, you have Jalen Green. They went out there, they benched Bradley Beal. He's still hell-bent on being in Phoenix. Just a weird situation right there. That's the only reason why the Phoenix Suns made this trade. They had to get underneath the second apron, and you're dealing with that terrible contract with Bradley Beal. Now they're expected to give Devin Booker a contract extension. We'll see what happens in the future. But once again, a great trade for the Houston Rockets. Shout out to the general manager. Shout out to the entire front office for getting this trade done. The Houston Rockets wanted to make something happen before the NBA draft, and the same with the Phoenix Suns, and it happened. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you grade this trade with Kevin Durant going over to the Houston Rockets? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless.